So you work for Velux Skylights.
Yeah.
Nice. I've definitely in the past, I remember doing when we do supplements and stuff like that, I could get letters from Velux that were specific about how the installation process had to go and what it would actually cost and stuff like that. Because, Exactimate would just put roof, window, or skylight, and it's like pennies on the dollar, right?
That's right. In fact, I just had a conversation with a guy this morning about Exactimate, and I'm trying. I have a contact there, at least the name. I'm trying to work on getting a meeting with them to just have that conversation and see if there's anything we can do to, just to make that more equitable, because it's definitely not even close.
Right, right. So, what do you want to talk about today? What kind of info do you want to give to my audience and educate them on, and tools that they could have and stuff like that? Fill me in.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing some work with the public adjusters and of course and what I've learned over the years. I've been with Velux 18 years, and what I've learned is insurance companies typically don't want to pay for the complete skylight replacement because they just don't understand what it is and how it works and how it integrates with the roof, or even why they should be buying a new skylight, right?
Right.
So a lot of times there's stuff on the roof where you can't get parts for anymore, and so they have to pay for the whole thing. And so what I've been able to do is just put together some tools like the letter that you just earlier that help roofers understand how to communicate with insurance so that they get paid to put a new skylight. Because at the end of the day, you were in the business, Becca, you understand.
Yeah.
You leave an old skylight and a new roof, you just left the problem waiting to happen. So
yeah.
My effort is to help these guys build the best roof possible, get paid to do it, and have the homeowner, the client, really be super happy with everything.
Yeah. And how is Velux different? So I know that because we used to use Velux when we were in St. Louis, but talk about the product a little bit and why it's different and why it's superior and all of that. Why do people like it?
Well, Velux has been making it for almost 80 years. It's the only thing we do. And so we've done a few things right over the years. The flashing system is unique. It's the thing that really makes the product watertight. The product also has gone through several redevelopments over the years just to be better. Today there's 3-bar protection built into the system. And so there's absolutely no way that the deck mount skylight can leak when you use our flashing kit. So that is one of the things that makes it so unique. The other thing that's unique about Velux is we have, international presence, but in the United States, I think we're the only skylight company with representation covering all 50 states.
Yeah.
And so having that resource is really helpful to the trades and to roofers as well. Yeah.
So when you have a roofer that has an insurance claim and there's a Velux skylight on there, what's kind of your protocol for, like, if they need to get the insurance adjuster to write it properly and make sure that they're actually paying for it right? Like, how do you help?
Well, the key is to being able to identify which version of our product is there.
Yeah.
And right now, there's probably 4 versions of our product in the market dating back all the way to the mid-'80s, which is a testament to how well that our product is built. If you're still seeing skylights, many from 85, 86, 87, that's 30-year-old product, 35-year-old product.
Yeah.
So, but being able to identify which version is on the roof is super helpful in being able to communicate to an adjuster what parts may or may not be available, right? So anything that we have in the field that was made pre-May of 1995, there's not an inventory of parts for anymore.
Right.
So that should be immediately covered for replacement completely. Gotcha. And then from 95 to 2010, there's a specific part of that product that when it's damaged cannot be replaced without compromising the main seal to the skylight. And so my opinion, and I think roofers would agree with this, those should also be replaced because nobody wants to cut the main seal to the skylight to replace a piece of metal.
Right. It's a hole in the roof after all, so let's do everything right as humanly possible.
Right. And insurance companies understand that. If they use that language, you can't replace it without compromising the main seal. It's a done deal. It gets paid for. And I'm trying to help roofers understand this verbiage so that when they're on the roof with the adjuster, it just gets done, and they don't have to go through the bid process or supplement process to get paid on the back end of it. It just makes it easier and more cost effective.
So you're telling contractors while they're on the roof, the best line they can say is?
Depending on which version it is.
Okay.
If there's, and it's really easy to identify, anything with screws on the base of the cladding, no parts. If, there's no parts, I have to replace the skylight.
Yeah.
And then the next version, if the glazing profile is damaged, that cannot be replaced without compromising the main seal. That's the verbiage that seems to work.
Without compromising the main seal. Got it. Cool.
Yeah.
So is there like a document that you usually have contractors send that has verbiage or photos or anything like that?
Yep. In fact, I'm working on a 2020 revision of that right now with our corporate people. But I do have a document that we can share similar to what my colleague Marty Goss, well, you were in St. Louis, so it would have been a different guy, but it's something similar to what you were using there, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we'd love to see that, and I could obviously share it with my people as well. So, right on.
Definitely get that to you as soon as it gets approved.
So you guys obviously love to have a full replacement. Contractors want to have a full replacement because it's, for us, it's more money, right? And It's just a better, we can rely on the, the integrity of the product as well a lot more confidently if we know that everything's been replaced, it's brand new.
Yeah.
So
I tell roofers all the time, guys, even if it's not being completely covered by insurance, why would you leave a 20-year-old skylight on a brand new roof? That's a problem waiting to happen. And there's some simple things that they can do with the homeowner at that point to communicate that without, using them for more money. They're going to have to pay for it, but there's some really easy ways to help the homeowners understand why.
Yeah. So, do you still have a way, like let's say that there's no obvious hail damage on a skylight on the roof, are you still recommending, regardless, if the roof's coming off, we're breaking the seal, we should just replace the whole thing, especially if it's pre-2010 or pre-1995?
Oh, yeah. For me, Becca, my cutoff is probably going to be 15 years. If I know that skylight is 15 years or older, I'm always going to want to see that get, replaced, just to protect the roofer.
Right.
Because what happens. He changes the roof, he leaves an old skylight.
And the skylight
next
leaks.
year it leaks. Yeah, he gets the phone call, and now he's got to send a guy, and
now that costs
they'll
you
go
a
out
couple
there for
$100.
but that's not a free call.
Right.
So I encourage roofers, guys, add a line item to the bottom of your contract. Remove and replace existing skylight. If the homeowner refuses, you just make them initial it, forcing them to take responsibility for what happens to it in the future. Just like signing on the insurance when you rent a car.
Right. That makes sense. So if they're refusing and insurance isn't replacing it and they go just leave it up there, then there's kind of like a waiver of if that's what leaks, it's not our fault,
Right. And I've got a lot of guys who won't warranty even a leak around the skylight because you just don't know where the water's coming from.
Right. So anything else pertinent about dealing with these during insurance claims at all for anything that differs for hail damage, wind damage, anything like that?
Well, wind damage then gets a little tricky with the skylight, right? Because usually you're not seeing any specific damage to the skylight. Right. But that's when, I'm going to direct roofers back to what we just said was the skylight is really part of the roof system, and it also has to be new. one of the things that I try to teach roofers is, hey guys, don't let the homeowner separate the skylight from the rest of the roof. It's really part of the system.
Right.
You separate it. And so when you're quoting a roof job, it should always include replacing the skylight, and then, default back to that line item on the contract. So that's, for the wind damage, that's really kind of where they have to go. But for the hail stuff, the key things to remember are, A, who made it originally. That helps you determine if there's any parts. And then B, what specifically is damaged, even if you can get parts. And most of the time, you're going to be able to get that thing covered, especially if you don't know whose it is, because you won't find any parts for it.
Yeah. So how do contractors contact a Velux representative, or, where do they find contact info to be able to contact you guys for literature, or letters, or whatever?
They can go right to our website, Becca, but okay. I don't mind being a point person. If you want to share my name and
Sure.
email address with the world, I'll be glad to connect them with their local person. I'm kind of the roofing market specialist for Velux, and so I'll be glad to be that point of contact.
Cool.
It makes it easy.
Absolutely. Nice. Well, if you'd want to share like an example of like the letter, I know you said you're drafting up kind of a new one here now, but if you wanted to share the letter or any photos or documentation or anything like that that would help give these guys some visuals or give them tools to be able to use in their adjuster negotiations, I'd be happy to share them with my audience. So.
Okay. Cool. I'll put something together. I don't have a problem sharing the version I used last year, but I think I probably should wait until I get the new one now, since we're already working on it.
Sure. That sounds good.
All right.
Cool. Well, anything else that you'd like to share?
No. I could talk all afternoon, Becca, about ways to help guys, grow business and earn money with accessories. One thing that I've learned with some of the insurance stuff is it's a great time to maybe upgrade some stuff and add blown skylights, which we know homeowners want, but roofers don't usually want to mess with.
Yeah.
Velux pre-installs the blinds, so they don't have to really do anything, just sell it. So that would be another little tip, just to maybe earn some more money and give the homeowner something there.
Who doesn't want blinds on those? You just push a button and we like that.
All solar powered, right? Sustainable. That's great.
That's right. I love that. Yeah, and you guys handle everything, I guess, right?
We do all the blind installations in-house, so they just order it that way. It comes out with the blind in it. Real simple programming process to connect the remote that it comes with to the blind. And then it's, like you said, touch a button, it operates. It's great. It's awesome. A really cool system.
Cool. Well, I love it. Thanks for the info. And I know that those tools, like the letters and stuff like that, will provide a lot of value to my contractors. And I'll make sure I provide your direct contact info and the website link as well for them to be able to reach out and get more information if they need it.
Thanks, Becca. Appreciate it. Thanks for meeting with me today.
Absolutely.